Hello, this is Brian Pearson, managing editor of the Tyler Morning Telegraph, and I'm here with the finest food editor east of the Rockies, Christine Gardner, and
Wow.
she's brought a big, impressive-looking bag today.
Well, we both were kind of out of town for a little while, not together, but you were off on a long honeymoon adventure, and I got a short little quick weekend away to Houston, so I thought, you know, when you go on vacation, I mean, you're not just going on vacation from your job, you get in a different food routine too, and you eat a lot of different things, some of them fun, some of them, you know, just quick and convenient.
That's what we did.
I was, as we were driving along, I was thinking of different things that we used to eat when I was a kid in the car.
Did you ever go to Stuckey's?
You know, I always wanted to stop and get a pecan log, but my mom always said no.
She knew best. Mama knows best because
no, we always
Stuckey's is dead for a reason.
Ritz crackers and peanut butter. And when that would be too messy, then these, I always hated these.
Really?
I didn't understand why those crackers were so orange.
But they invented this color just for these crackers. I mean, where else do you find this color?
Even as a child, I thought this wasn't natural.
There's no preservatives in that.
And my sister would eat these all the time, and then her fingers would be orange and gross. So then, of course...
Did y'all used to fight over territory in the back seat?
Yeah. There was a line.
Here's the line, and then it's like... Oh, yeah. Little Debbie's.
Swiss rolls. And I always
My
wanted...
kids go bananas for
Well,
those.
I wanted Ding Dongs, but we could only have Little Debbie, because that was more economical. And, of course, what road trip wouldn't be the same without...
Oh, yes. Not just any Vienna sausage, smoked. I don't believe I've had the smoke.
You know,
The ones I've had were swimming in fluid.
Goopy fluid.
Yeah.
My dad would always eat these, and I don't know that I ever ate them very often unless it was just dire emergency.
Yeah, that's like stranded.
But I did buy this in a gas station this morning. So.
That's good.
Mom always had the Pringles, but those were too expensive for us kids to eat. So we had the Fritos with, of course, the bean dip.
Oh, yes.
And then this was always my college road trip snack. Sunflower seeds.
And what did you do with the seeds when you were in the car?
Well, I always had a cup in the...
Okay. You didn't just spit them out the window?
No, I didn't spit them out the window. Yeah, there's a whole trail of sunflower seeds from here to College Station, thanks to me. But yeah, and of course, lots of...
Oh, of course.
Diet Coke, but not too much. It's like...
Is there a bottom to this bag?
I know. No, that's it. But, you know, the other thing that I bring up in my column, we stopped by the Buc-ee's truck stop.
Buc-ee's rules.
No, Buc-ee's doesn't rule.
Or else can you get like armadillo jerky or something?
Buc-ee's gives me a panic attack.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like droves of people going in and out in their big old 44-ounce sodas and their bags of beaver nuggets or whatever those things are.
But they have the finest restrooms. They're like country club quality restrooms.
Yeah, there were just too many people in that place.
Okay.
I had to get out pretty
what
fast.
else?
So that, you know, I tried some fun things at some different restaurants and hung out in Galveston for a little while.
That's awesome.
Had some good shrimp, but it sounds like you went on more of an adventure than I did.
Well, I know when you're on the road and food choices and a honeymoon and so forth, and so we used sight, like if you're driving down the road, it's like, and we're looking, because they usually put what's coming up on the exit signs, which is pretty cool. And then we used Yelp. And we used Google, and a lot of times, like, the newspapers had reviews of places so that you could turn to those. Urban Spoon, and another thing we did was we would post where's a good place to eat in Santa Fe, and then people that had been there would chime in, and people that we had as Facebook friends in Santa Fe would chime in.
Yeah.
And then we'd use all these other things to
I think I helped you out with some Denver places.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And so our first stop was Brahms. Then we went to Subway.
You weren't even out of town yet.
Well, Brahms, I think it was in Oklahoma.
I was going to say, we didn't even get out of town before we had to stop at Sonic for a Java chiller.
Yeah, the Brahms had like Oklahoma State paraphernalia in there, so I assume we'd crossed over the Red River. And then Chicago Pizza in Denver, which was prior to a concert that we saw at Red Rocks. And then we had a breakfast burrito somewhere, I'm not sure. It was like a coffee shop. We grilled fish that
Wait,
that
Chicago
night.
Pizza in Denver?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I could have given you like 5 great pizza places to go
We
to.
just needed to get in and get out.
And you had to get a buffalo burger. Did you ever eat the buffalo burger?
At Chicago Pizza?
No. Okay. Carry
we'll
on.
Move on. And then the next day we ate trail mix. But we talked about our enchiladas before, and where I got the idea for my enchiladas, which lost to your enchiladas, was a place called Casa del Sol in Buena Vista. I hadn't been there in years and really couldn't even remember the name until we got into town and saw that. Sadly, the sour cream chicken enchiladas with the pine nuts is now some sort of enchiladas with almonds, and so
yeah, pine nuts are expensive.
I had something else, but it was okay. We went for a river rafting trip where the guide cooked one of the most delicious steaks I've ever had on the river. We went to a place called Eddie Line, which is a local brewing company there that had really great pizza. We ate a lot of pizza. Wendy's, you got to do that. One night we went to Whole Foods and bought a bunch of stuff and brought that out to a park to watch jazz band and
that's a good idea.
It was a picnic on the park. Santa Fe Tap Room, we had pizza again, which was really good. And then, but the big,
is this like the pizza excursion?
Yeah, well, we didn't size that up until after we got back. I was like, well, we sure ate a lot of pizza. But the big fun find on the trip was like we really wanted a fancy dinner in Santa Fe, which became. We harnessed all of the energy of social media and apps.
There's a lot of good places in Santa Fe.
And so there were some of the top restaurants in Santa Fe are ones that are like foods other than New Mexican fare.
I might have to have a snack to get through this.
Yes,
it's like a long road trip.
So, anyways, we went and ate at a place called Pascal's, which was really good, and we liked it so much that we went there for brunch the next day. But perhaps
is that where you had those smoking hot peppers you were telling me about?
No, that was at the Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo.
Oh, that was there?
Yes, and they were the hottest food that either one of us had ever eaten, and the steaks were great, and we didn't see any poor soul trying the 72-ounce steak.
Well, the picture you posted on Facebook looked like it was the 72-ounce steak.
Yeah, that was my steak, and it was very large. And so then the last stop was the Dairy Queen in Childress.
In Childress, yes. I saw that one, too, because I stopped there many times thinking, I'm in Texas, I'm almost there, and then you just keep driving and driving forever.
Right. Well, we pulled into Childress. I said, this is about the biggest spot on the map we're going to hit until we get to Wichita Falls.
True.
But there were so many people gathered in there, it took us an hour to get out of there. But
did you get a dipped cone?
No, I did not. I did get a hunger buster, though.
We went through the Dairy Queen this weekend, and I have a friend, he's very obsessed with dipped cones, and whether or not the chocolate is thick enough on the dipped cone, so he asked them to double dip it for him, and they thought he was insane and almost wouldn't serve it. He's like, I don't understand why they can't double dip. I'm like,
yeah, they should have they have a double meat hamburger. Why can't you have a double dipped cone? So anything else you want to talk about for tomorrow's food page?
Well, we're also doing an interesting feature. I kind of turned things over to Roy Maynard this week, and he is
our opinion man.
Yes, and he has very high opinions of beer can duck.
Really? I've heard of beer can chicken.
I had too, and then when he told me he wanted to do beer can duck, I was like, go ahead. Okay. It sounds very interesting. So he's showing us how to do a beer can duck on the grill.
Okay. Sounds great.
So it'll be on everyone's grills this weekend, I guess.
Check it out in tomorrow's
Run
paper.
on ducks in the grocery store.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So read the food section and
are we done, or do you want me to add more
Buc-ee's
stuff to my list here?
No, I think you ate enough.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.